نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسألك الناس عن الساعة قل إنما علمها عند الله وما يدريك لعل الساعة تكون قريبا إن الله لعن الكافرين وعد لهم سعيرا خالدين فيها أبدا لا يجدون وليا ولا نصيرا يوم تقلب وجوههم في النار يقولون يا ليتنا أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسولا وقالوا ربنا إنا أطعنا سادتنا وكبراءنا فأضلونا السبيلا ربنا آتهم ضعفين من العذاب والعنهم لعنا كبيرا يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى فبره الله مما قالوا وكان عند الله وجيها. Respectful friends, the verses recited, these are from the closing section of Surah Ahzaab, with just a few verses left. In the first verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that يَسْأَلُكَ النَّاسُ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ قُلْ إِنَّمَا عِلْمَهَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّ السَّاعَةَ تَكُونُ قَرِيبًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions here that people ask, meaning they ask Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam, يَسْأَلُكَ, they ask you, meaning Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, عَنِ السَّاعَةِ, when the Qiyamah will take place. Sa'a means the hour, and hour here means the day of Qiyamah. Qul, say, إِنَّمَا عِلْمَهَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, the knowledge about it is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّ السَّاعَةَ تَكُونُ قَرِيبًا, and that perhaps وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ, you'll be surprised to know لَعَلَّ السَّاعَةَ, that perhaps سَاعَةَ قِيَامَةَ تَكُونُ قَرِيبًا, is close. So here in jest people would ask Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam عن الساعة, with regards to Qiyamah, that when will Qiyamah come. What is the just general asking of those who have Iman? But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers towards those who didn't have Iman. And because Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam would mention to them the importance of Iman, and that the day of reckoning will come. And prior to the day of reckoning will be the day of Qiyamah. So the day of Qiyamah is going to come with something that people have to face. So they would, out of jest, they would mock and ask, when is the Sa'a coming? When is the Sa'a coming? You know, why is it a delay? And when is it, as in challenging and in a jesting and mocking manner. They would ask Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam in this manner. To which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look, قُلْ إِنَّمَا عِلْمَهَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, tell them straightforward, the knowledge about it is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as it is the Sa'a, the knowledge of that is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when Sayyidina Jibreel asked Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam, that when is Mata Sa'a, Nabi Kareem sallallahu sallam mentioned, وَالْمَسْئُولُ عَنْهَا بِأَعْلَمَ مِنَ السَّائِلِ, that the one who is being asked does not have any more knowledge than the one who is asking. That the Sa'a is a time which only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the knowledge of. So even Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Sa'a is from those things that the knowledge of which was only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't know. Sayyidina Jibreel didn't know as well. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, however, mentioned certain signs of the Sa'ah, wherein we have the minor signs and we have the major signs. Other than that, nobody knows when the day of Qiyamah is going to come. And what is important for us as believers is that we all have Iman in the day of Qiyamah. That is one of the fundamental things that a person needs to have Iman in. The day of Qiyamah, the reckoning, the hereafter. Without this, then the person can't be a believer, a person is not even a mu'min if a person does not have such a belief. Yes, with regards to the finer details, that is excluded, meaning that a person, that which we know as it is that Qiyamah exists, we have Iman in that. Then the finer details, these are things which we are not part of the necessity of Iman, but Qiyamah itself, believing that and reckoning in the hereafter is part of Iman. And when that is the case, that we have Iman in this, then our duty is not to want to know when the Sa'ah will come. It is a case of preparing for when the Sa'ah does come. And just the way you have the Sa'ah as in the form of the day of Qiyamah, everyone has his or her own Sa'ah as well, hour and moment. And that moment is when it is the time of their death. And that is something that is going to come much sooner than the actual day of Qiyamah itself. Unless for those people who are alive at the time when Qiyamah takes place itself. Otherwise, this Sa'ah of a person's individual life, that is going to come first. So we should be, and again that is also ilm which only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows when that is going to occur. But what we can do is that we can at least prepare for that. That's why when a Sahabi had asked Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that Mata Sa'ah, Nabi Kareem said to him, Ma a'adata laha, what have you prepared for it? What have you prepared for it? That is what is most important. Never mind asking when the day of Qiyamah is going to come. And as I mentioned many times, there's no point sat on the comfort of your seats and watching or listening to YouTube videos one after the other with regard to the signs of Qiyamah and when the Qiyamah will come and all the development towards Qiyamah, and spending hours and hours on that and wasting time and not doing anything about their own life and their own Sa'ah that is going to come. And majority of these YouTube or even other lectures in that, you'll have those lectures which are factual meaning that the Islamic side of it, the Deeni side is mentioned, meaning that which is in the Qur'an and Hadith. With regards to the signs of Qiyamah and with regards to the happening in the time of Qiyamah, that is something that will increase a person's knowledge. And then on the other side we have those lectures which are more of predictions. And these predicting videos, these are all waste of time. They are all waste of time because there is no guarantee at all and nothing definite at all with regards to the current events that people link with the various ahadith. The hadith is there in its place. It will happen when it will happen. Other than that, just us predicting things or trying to link certain world events with the various ahadith of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam without evidence. You want to link something somewhere, there needs to be evidence. So this is without evidence, to just have an idea or to just assume, make an assumption that this event, current events refer towards this sign of Qiyamah, refers to that sign of Qiyamah without any evidence. This is not, there is no basis of that whatsoever. And you will find that there are people who will spend hours and hours just watching and listening to these type of lectures and videos, just intrigued as to when Qiyamah will come. More important than that is do something for the sake of that Qiyamah. You can have so much knowledge and become an expert in this field, but then you haven't done anything about it, there is no point in that at all. And Allah Ta'ala says that وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّ السَّاعَةَ تَكُونُ قَرِيبًا. And what do you know? Perhaps the day of Qiyamah is closer than you think. And this is true as well. Because as time passes, you are going to get closer to the Qiyamah as it is. So for every person, whenever a person reads this verse, for them Qiyamah is a lot closer than what it was for those previously. So it could be very close. And when that is the case, it means that a person should be preparing themselves for it. And when Qiyamah comes itself, the actual event of Qiyamah, it won't come with any warnings. All the signs have already passed before. When it will come, and that will be it. As the Nabi Kareem mentioned, is a person will take a morsel of food, and before they can even put it into their mouth, the Qiyamah will commence, and they won't get a chance to put that in their mouth. A person will choose a piece of cloth to purchase before it is even torn from the yarn and given, Qiyamah will come. Inna Allah la'ana al-kafirina wa'adda lahu sa'ira. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has cursed the rejectors, وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ, meaning those who denied, and those who rejected Iman, those who do not have Iman, Allah ta'ala has cursed them, وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ سَعِيرًا, and prepared the fire of Jahannam for them. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا, they will live there forever. لَا يَجِدُونَ وَلِيًّا وَلَا نَصِيرًا, and not find any protecting friend nor any helper to rescue them from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds again that what the benefit of Iman is and what the disadvantages of kufr is. لَعَنَ الْكَافِرِينَ وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ سَعِيرًا, the fire of Jahannam, and that is one which is خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا, that they will live there forever, forever they will remain in it. And we are fortunate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us Iman. Allah ta'ala keep us all steadfast on Iman. I will have progeny till the day of Qiyamah on Iman, and that we die on Iman, and our Hashr is on Iman as well. Otherwise it's a case of Khalidina fiha abada. Those who die without Iman, they will be in the fire of Jahannam forever, not just for a period of time, and then they'll exit the fire of Jahannam, but Allah says abadan. And remember, this is that abadan which is forever, not the abadan of this world, which we think that person lives for 60, 70, 90, 80, 100 years even. There it is forever and ever. On the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give death a representation, meaning to be represented in the form of a ram. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will summon the people of Jannat. All the people of Jannat will look up, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will summon the people of Jahannam. They all look up, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command that the ram is slaughtered. And Allah ta'ala will ask it, do you know what this is? It means khulud. This means khulud, that there is now no death anymore. There is no death anymore. Now whichever section you are now destined for, whether you are in the bliss of Jannat or whether you're in the blaze of Jahannam, whichever side you are in, it is now khulud. It is forever now. Nobody will then come out from Jannat. And those who are destined for Jahannam eternally without Iman, yes, those who have Iman will exit Jahannam. But those who do not have Iman, it's not a case of now they'll die in Jahannam, and by dying in Jahannam you can now free yourself from the Azab. No, it is khulud. No mort will come anymore. No mort will come, no death anymore, abadan. And la yajiduna waliyan wala nasira. And there they'll find no protecting friend, no any helper to rescue them at all from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yawma tuqal, here this world people can boast and say, look, they have various friends and contacts who will be able to help them. On the day of Qiyamah, no contact, no help will be there for a person at all. يوم تقلب وجوههم في النار يقولون يا ليتنا أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسول. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, on that day, the day when تقلب وجوههم, their faces will be overturned, في النار, in the fire, and they will say, as they say, Ya laytana, oh dear, ata'na Allah, if only we had obeyed Allah, wa ta'na ar-rasula, and obeyed the Rasul. This is the remorse of those who didn't bring Iman. And Allah Ta'ala reveals this verse and mentions this verse directing and also addressing those who do not have Iman. That when you ask يَسْأَلُكَ النَّاسُ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ, then instead of asking with regards to Sa'ah, think about the consequences of the Sa'ah. That if the Sa'ah, the day of Qiyamah commences and it comes in a state wherein you have not brought Iman, then this is your plight. This is the situation that a person is going to be. يَوْمَ تُقَلَّبُ وُجُوهُمْ فِي النَّارِ, when they will be overturned in the fire of Jahannam. That on the face front they will be thrown into the fire of Jahannam. يَقُولُونَ يَا لَيْتَنَا, and that is when the person will be remorse, and they will say, if only we had obeyed Allah and His Rasul. Now here with regards to remorse on the day of Qiyamah, there's going to be remorse both sides. One remorse is going to be worse than the other. The remorse of the disbelievers is going to be extreme, of course. But even those who are believers, who had Iman, they will also have remorse as well, especially if they did not أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسول, if they as well had not obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Rasul. So there will be regret on both sides as well. The only positive is, the positive for those who have Iman is that Iman will only save a person from eternal Jahannam, but it won't save a person totally from the fire of Jahannam. And us as believers have to remember this as well, that it doesn't mean because we have Iman we are guaranteed that no person with Iman will go in Jahannam. That isn't the case. The hadith clearly indicate towards there being people of Iman in the fire of Jahannam. So people with Iman will also go into the fire of Jahannam. Yes, the quality of Iman and the benefit of Iman is that it will save a person from khalidina fi abada, from being in there eternally. But Jahannam is still there for those who do not have Iman as well. On that day, yes, they will also regret when they are destined for the fire of Jahannam, that if only we had also أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسول, obeyed Allah and obeyed the Rasul. But now in the hereafter it's too late, a person cannot change anything at all. You cannot come back in this world and make those changes. وقالوا ربنا إنا أطعنا سادتنا وكبراءنا فأضلونا السبيلا ربنا آتهم ضعفين من العذاب ولعنهم لعنا كبيرا. And on that day, those who do not have Iman, and not only them but others as well, or those who followed other people, and those who were in bad company, they will make this excuse and they will say that, "Oh Rabb, inna a'tana sadatana." Oh our Rabb, we followed our leaders. Wa kubara'ana, and our elders. And they are the ones who fadalluna sabila, but they misled us from the right path. So it isn't our fault, it is their fault, they will blame them. And not only that, but then they will curse them as well by saying, رَبَّنَا آتِهِمْ ضِعْفَيْنِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ. Oh Allah, give them double punishment. وَلَعَنْهُمْ لَعْنًا كَبِيرًا, and curse them ever so greatly. Meaning that they themselves will regret the association with these elders and the leaders, those who they followed and loved in this world, and they themselves will start cursing them. And this is the reality and the haqiqat of how this world is going to be. As I mentioned in the Wednesday Majlis, that all those people who we love here in this world, especially those who we are following, whose statuses we follow, whose profile we follow, whose Tinder, Instagram, whatever we follow, and we're so intrigued with their lives, we like them so much, we follow everything that they do, they say, and all the love hearts and the likes and whatnot that we do in support of these people. None of them are going to be there to support us on the day of Qiyamah. Like them as much as you want to. Follow them as much as you want to. On the day of Qiyamah, they are not going to be there to help us. They themselves are going to be in need of help. When they are going to be in need of help, they are not going to come to rescue us whatsoever. On the day of Qiyamah, one is here that which Allah Ta'ala mentions specifically with regards to those who do not have Iman, that on the day of Qiyamah they are going to say what over our Rabb. We followed our leaders and our elders. They are the ones who misled us from Deen of Islam, and because of them we did not come on the fold of Islam. Just the way when Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam had given the letter of Iman to Hirakal, In it, Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam had mentioned as well that look, if you do not bring Iman, then upon you will be the sin of your congregation, of your followers, meaning of your civilians. Because the civilians, they are what? They look up at the king. He's a king after all. And if you don't going to deny them, and if you are going to not bring Iman, they will not bring Iman, that will be on your head. You are in that position, you bring Iman, that they will bring Iman as well. But he declined, he didn't bring Iman. He had the desire to, but he didn't. And why he didn't as well is because of his love for his follower. He didn't bring Iman. So what he did do is that he gathered all his people and he mentioned with regards to the deen of Islam and towards Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the desire to accept Islam or tell the people that look, you will bring Islam as well, Aslim Taslim, then you will find success as well in your life. But what then happened is that they then start making noise there and chaos erupted there. They started running from there as to what is happening here. And now when he saw that look, they are now going to rebel and he will lose his seat in that condition as well, what did he do is he just said, called them back and said, no, I was only testing your Iman. Now this testing you, seeing how strong you are on your faith and how much you really truly believe. That is all it was. So what they did, they all fell into sajda for him and they remained and he remained on his deed. And he didn't come into full Islam despite the fact that he understood that deen of Islam was the true religion. So that is one. And the other is again here, which is very detrimental for us, that يَوْمَ تُقَلَّبُ وُجُوهُهُمْ فِي النَّارِ يَقُولُونَ يَا لَيْتَنَا أَطَعْنَا اللَّهَ وَأَطَعْنَا الرَّسُولَ. And this is the time that we're living in, not now, but it's always been the case wherein people have all sorts of role models that they are following. In the past, the following would be restricted because you didn't have so much access. Now, the various means, social media, these things are such that access towards people is so much that those who are on the social platforms, every step of theirs is out there. Everybody knows what they're doing, how they are, where they are, and what's happening. They become ill, and all their followers are sending messages, and all of them are praying for them, and they are also becoming ill because their idol has become ill. So everything is followed there, and people are following crazy. They are following these things as crazy. Then what will happen is that in following them, whether it is male or female, then a person desires that type of lifestyle and a person starts following and emulating their lifestyle as well. Their fashion, their dressing, and their way of life, these are things that the person starts following. Brothers and sisters as well, they'll have so many female, such idols, who they'll start emulating them, wanting to dress like them, and become just as corrupt and immoral as them as well. And then what will happen? These are those people who are going to take them away from the deen of Islam. They're going to take them away from the deen of Islam because there is no deen of Islam in their lives. And then on the day of Qiyamah, remember that following them will not help and assist us at all. They're not going to help us, and we are not going to get any reward in emulating them, in following them. أَطَعْنَا اللَّهَ وَأَطَعْنَا الرَّسُولَ. This is what they're going to regret. يَا لَيْتَنَا. Oh dear, if only أَطَعْنَا اللَّهَ وَأَطَعْنَا الرَّسُولَ, if only we had obeyed Allah and obeyed His Rasul. There is a remorse and guilt that's going to be there on the day of Qiyamah, that if only these were the ones that we followed, and that's when a person will regret, that if only they can come back and unfollow, unsubscribe, and change things, and start following those who, by following them, we are able to follow Allah and His Rasul. But again, that's going to be too late. It's going to be too late now. That's why it's very, very important that, look, we need to get things into perspective. Dunya is dunya. Dunya comes with all sorts of entertainment and whatnot. And as I mentioned, it's very, very important that we understand who our true role models were. One thing I mentioned in Majlis for the benefit of those who are not here is today we have Muslims who are on an international platform well-recognized Muslims, whether they will be in different platforms, different fields, whether it is in sports, or whether it is in entertainment, or what else it may be. And because they are Muslims, and because they may even be having a positive sort of demeanor to them, positive effects that they may be having on society, so people start taking them to be role models. So these are ideal role models for Muslims. Look, this is how Muslims should be. And we look at this and we start thinking, following these type of individuals as well, yes, these are good Muslims. These are good Muslims, so we should be intrigued about them, we should be following them, we should be celebrating their victories in their lives and whatnot. Whereas, whatever good they are doing, fine. Ikhlas is there, Allah accepts, that is between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is more important for us is that alhamdulillah we have much better role models than any of you and I. Any of you and I, any such person who we should be following instead. Who have been role models for centuries now. They are there role models of so many established role models, and those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself radiyallahu anhum wa radu an, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself has certified. And then those who follow them and those who follow them, and that same path that's continued with, there are such great examples that already are there for us. And even living wise as well, alhamdulillah, throughout the world, they are righteous and pious examples. Not that these Muslims may not be righteous and pious, we do not know that. But those who we can look at and we can see that righteousness and piety and learn righteousness and piety in their lives. And this is something that we need to get into perspective as well. That, a Muslim country, Muslim players, a Muslim country may have achieved something more than people would have expected, and we go crazy on that and we're celebrating that type of achievements and that. And we're praising that, look, Surah Fatiha is recited beforehand, and then people are falling into sajda as well. And look at making a huge big thing about these things and celebrating such type of things. This is how we have become as Muslims, that look, when we do what we have to celebrate. We have nothing else that we've done to celebrate, and what we do celebrate is nothing but this entertainment. It is entertainment. Where is our history gone? In our history, there were many things that the Muslims had, that they had that opportunities to celebrate about. True things to celebrate about. True achievements to celebrate. And here, just for the sake of, it's entertainment after all. Sports, entertainment, these are things that people, and those who are there are getting paid for it as well. So they do their work, they're getting paid for it. What is it? It is just entertainment after all. It's not, whoever wins the World Cup, they haven't conquered the world. That's a different matter that, all these teams, however many teams, 32 teams went to war. And they battled against one another. And whoever won, they conquered the world. And that is an achievement. The World War took place in the battle, and they conquered the world. And that is something we can say, look, this is an achievement here. And here, it is a case of, it's a tournament of leisure that is there, of playing. And they have an achievement has been made, and whatever it may be, whatsoever or so. And that's it, end of the day. That is done and dusted with. It's not going to be anything that is going to change anything in this world or with regards to the akhirat. It is all temporary matters and temporary things. And this is what we need to understand and realize that, look, what is haqiqat, what is reality, what is not. Who are we supposed to be following? Who are we supposed to be following? Yes, as Muslims, you want Muslims throughout the world to be on the upper hand rather than be on the defeating side or so. But the haqiqat is, as we're mentioning here, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us better role models. Better role models. Who are not just role models with regards to deen itself, but society as well. You look at so many of our akabirin, Okay, never mind the time of the Sahaba and that, just look closer as well to so many of our Akabireen. That how much they did, not just with regard to their own dini side and the dini efforts they made on people, but how much they did for society itself and the changes they brought about in society, how much they did for Muslims and for non-Muslims as well. These are the role models, these are people that we should be looking at as well. And not only that, for those, for example, us, majority of us who have relationship and our connection is with the Indo-Pak, for instance. There is a history there itself of oppression that took place and what that didn't take place. And then you have so many heroes there, so many heroes of ours who actually fought a war and were victorious in a war of independence. The Qurbani that they had made during that time, these were achievements, these were not just a game and a match. And that is a big Qurbani that a person has made, that they've lived a life of luxury, they play well, so they've been selected, they've represented their country, and when they represent their country, they're not going to any war zone, they're going to nice and luxury, they're going to stay in luxury accommodation, they're going to train in luxury facilities, and then they're going to play in a luxurious stadium as well, with all the fans that are there, food, everything catered for, transport, everything luxurious, everything comfort, lose every match and come home, you still come back having had a decent time in decent facilities and decent experiences as well. That is what about those who even now who are doing so much charitable work, going to war zones and difficult areas in difficult circumstances, difficult climates and conditions, dangerous places as well, and doing so much for mankind and for society. Now, these are true heroes. These are people who have actually done something, who have conquered the hearts of people. These are people that we should be supporting. And these are the people that we should be looking at, really, isn't it? Give your money, the same amount that you spend to watch a football match, give that to charity, isn't it? The way it will go, it will benefit people. Otherwise, see what's happening. And again, people will go mad for all these people. And they'll have their teachers, as I mentioned, and all these things. Money is going to them. You're paying for them, for their luxurious life and everything. Do they even know who you are? You're paying for their luxury in that. They do not know who you are. They're not even bothered who you are, isn't it? The most you get from them is, can have a selfie. If you're lucky, you get a selfie after that, that's I mean. They don't know you, and neither you going to get anything out of it at all. And at the end of the day, it's those supporters, they are the ones who make the Qurbani of spending money to go to wherever they need to go. Whatever accommodation they'll undertake as well, and because they don't have all the luxury that is there. So they will put up in whatever accommodation they can afford whatever food they can, some may not be able to. So they are the ones who make the Qurbani, and at the end of the day, who takes the cup, who takes all the awards, and who takes the medal? Those in luxury are going to take it, and those fans who made the Qurbani to be there, they don't get anything at all, besides just having watched and experienced the experience that is there. And they've come home and they have not come back with anything at all. What's the point and what's the benefit of that? There's no benefit in that whatsoever. Time, money, everything, stress, everything that goes with it is wasted for what futile things. Spend that amount of time, 90 minutes, 120 minutes or so, spend that in a daily program that we find so difficult. Well, at least we'll benefit something from it. Spend that amount of time in a masjid, you'll get some reward for it. Spend in a masjid, I.T.A, you get reward for it, rather than wasting life. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that all those who a person follows and dedicates themselves towards this way, on the day of Qiyamah, how things will turn round. That all these who people going crazy for, and people were following and listening to and following every act of theirs, that if they were to say, become a Muslim, I've become Muslim, they would just follow, become Muslims. If they would say, look, I've left Islam, they would leave Islam. If they would say, look, Islam is like this, so Islam is like that, yes, Islam is like this, and Islam is like that. To that extent that Muslims who follow them as well, because of their love for them, even if they were to insult Deen and Islam, they will take it lightly. Why? Because of their love for them. They won't want to give preference to Deen and Islam over them, but no, because of that, they will also start thinking similar as well. On the day of Qiyamah, how things will turn around, the tables will turn. Allah Ta'ala says, وَقَالُوا رَبَّنَا إِنَّا أَطَعْنَا سَادَتَنَا وَكُبَرَانَا. Allah, these are the people who we followed. We followed our idols. We followed our leaders and our elders. فَضَلُّونَ السَّبِيلَ. And they are the ones who misled us from the path. So they will blame them. And those who were followed, they will say, Allah Ta'ala, we didn't tell them, we didn't force them to follow us. We didn't force them to follow us, isn't it? We just said, video person ho to zarur subscribe karna. That's what we said. We didn't force them zabardasti that you have to give us the likes and you have to subscribe to us. That if you like the video, then give us a thumb up and that. We just mentioned it. It is up to them. They give us a thumbs up, isn't it? And then Rabbana atim dhi'faini. All the idols will get this. That their followers will say, oh Allah, give them double punishment. Rabbana atim dhi'faini min al-azab. Not just one azab. Now all the followers, now look at all the likes and the love hearts in that. How that will change on the day of Qiyamah. Rabbana atim dhi'faini min al-azab. Allah, give them double punishment. وَلَعَنْهُمْ لَعْنًا كَبِيرًا. So much curses. Punishment and curse them ever so greatly. وَلَعَنْهُمْ لَعْنًا. That too again لَعْنًا. And that too, how about لَعْنًا كَبِيرًا. Great. Meaning stating in great anger of theirs that why, and this is something that they will regret on the day of Qiyamah, that if only we did not follow these people. If only we had not followed them, then we would not have been in this position. So as I mentioned, there are those who followed such people and deprived themselves of Iman, so their regret is going to be such. But at the same time, there's going to be people with Iman as well, who are going to be in the same position as well, who because of those who they were following, they didn't come onto the path of Islam, because these are not people who are going to show them the path of Islam. So because of that, it's a case of Rabbana atim dhi'faini min al-'adhabi wal-'anhum la'nan kabir. For them as well, they will say, if only we had followed others instead of them. If only we had followed others instead of following them, then we would have been better. If we had followed the righteous ones, maybe we would have become from the righteous as well. Females as well, there are so many righteous women in the communities that if only we had followed their footsteps, then we would be in a much better position instead of following those who are not in that position. And that's when a person, when they see them in that plight on the day of Qiyamah, and maybe now all these idols and all these celebs, they're going to come to their followers. They need the reason they're going to come to their followers and look, you like me in this world, so now come and help me now. You like me in this world, so now help us now, give us some neki, give us some, do something for us, help us. Then all those fans and them are going to say, "Wait, nafsi, nafsi." It's a case of nafsi. Sorry, I'm unsubscribing to all. I don't want any association with you at all. No association with you at all, because al-maru ma man haba, person will be resurrected whoever they loved in this world. So they will now want to reject them on the day of Qiyamah, and not just reject them, but look here how Rabbana atim dhi'faini min al-'adhab. They're going to curse them and say to Allah, give them double punishment. Double punishment is one of their punishment for the wrong that they were doing in their lives, and the other is because of them being the negative role model towards us. Allah give them double azab. Hence, very, very important that we see who we al-maru ala dini khalilihi falyanzur ahadukum man yukhalil. Clearly mentions that a person is on the deen of his khalil. He's on the way and the path of his friend, of who you follow, who you like. So Nabi says, فَلْيَنْزُرْ أَحْلُكُمْ يَخَالِ. So look and ponder, who do you follow? Who do you befriend? Ponder over that before you befriend people. Exactly the same. Think before you start subscribing. Think before you start following. That who is it that you are following? And is that following going to bring you any benefit in the dunya and akhirat or not? If not, then stay away from that form of following. Allah Ta'ala has recited the next verse as well. We'll leave that for next week's tafsir. Allah Ta'ala grant us all the understanding and protect us from this severe punishment and this scenario that Allah Ta'ala mentions on the day of Qiyamah, and that Allah Ta'ala has make us from the righteous, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala keep us in the company of the righteous and resurrect us amongst the righteous as well. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين.